in Lincoln.
There's nothing like the view from the cheap seats.
Nothing like starting your morning with a bit of coffee.
Oh, yeah. Especially
Server, could you clear some of these dishes away if you would, please?
It wasn't even in your lap.
It
Good
wasn't.
morning,
But you
sports
did.
fans.
Clean up on
Good
aisle
morning,
2.
sports fans. Joe Ryan, Loyd, Kirby, Furniture Jake, and Jim Ash. And we're sitting out here at Four Corners Lube out on a beautiful September morning.
Beautiful.
Wouldn't you say, fellas? Nice and cool right here in the shade now.
No tent needed.
Going to heat up some today, though, isn't it? Is it going to be 90 today? Condition 90?
Yeah, I'm going to a festival, so it's bound to be.
Oh, are you going to a festival?
I'm going to
Are you going to walk around?
Festivus?
walk around with
There's nothing like walking around at a festival when it's hot.
especially with food.
When it's hot. You can get full, be miserable, sweaty.
Eat some chili.
Yep.
be
Oh,
good.
nothing like some chili on a nice
Chili
hot
during a
September
festival when it's
morning.
hot.
No kidding
Yeah.
there. And beautiful Four Corners Lubes. Again, where we're at, come on out. Take a look at some equipment out here they've got. Hold on, I've got some notes right here.
Wait for it.
Our music's going to be upbeat instrumental on this.
All right. That's a little
Blah,
later in
blah,
the show.
blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
It is time to winterize your vehicles and your lawn equipment. Don't forget that. And trust the best. Get into Four Corners Lube, located at 1101 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln now for the best service possible. It's open 6 days a week, featuring Husqvarna brand equipment from 217-735-2761. I'm going to say it again. That's
Say it.
217-735-2761.
I want you to read that exactly like it's typed.
Save money out at Four Corners Lube, home of the full service in and out.
Servicing many areas, especially
Manito.
Manito. Today's secret
Thank you,
word
Scott.
is
Manito.
I'm going to tell you what. Scott's fun even when he's not here. And as we talk about Four Corners Lube, I want to let's just take a hats off moment.
Good. We almost had that today.
For Gary's drywall and painting. Clint Gary, he did an excellent job out here. Look at it. It's beautiful. Got that gray all painted up.
Oh, yeah.
A blue
Matches
stripe
your hair.
across it.
You know what? That what was it before? Like watermelon, faded red. I guess is what you call it.
You've got a pretty good memory if you can remember what color it used to be, because I can't.
They have. That's exactly right. They make it look so good you can't tell what it was. No.
It looks good
nice.
out here. And Clint and Mallory Gary, I got to throw Mallory out there because she brings me my eggs. Delicious. She's got some farm fresh eggs that they have for sale. Get a hold of those Garys. You can get drywall, painting, and eggs. It's not a bad.
And car washing, Jim says.
Power washing. He does some power washing too. Car washing he had out here. I don't know if he wants to, but I think if you pay him enough, he'll probably get some car washing done too. So
It's a busy corner down here.
you know what? At busy corner, and I got to tell you what, the new McDonald's looks good. Look at it, and look, it's packed.
It is. Constant vehicles
Cars
in and
everywhere.
out.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jake, has that added any traffic to your parking lot?
Maybe a little bit. The hope is one day that they'll figure out how to actually exit the McDonald's parking lot, so when they actually come out, they don't cut off the incoming traffic.
Yeah, it's all
is that
new
a-
right now.
It
It's all
is.
new. Because I
It
know
is.
the
They'll
first time
figure
I
it
went
out.
down it, I was like, where
Like
am I
this
going?
here.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
As you notice,
Yeah, you know what? It's a little
a
confusing.
little confusing. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out
We'll
something
have to get a hold of Michael Petro, get that figured out over there. He's a
Yeah.
good boy. But the new McDonald's is beautiful on the inside, and it's all clean and fresh. And I have to tell you what, they've all been, the times I've been there, everybody's been pleasant and nice, and that's a key to life, people that are pleasant and nice.
Boy, how
Don't
do.
you want to sit
I'm going to
most
have
of
to
your time
implement
around?
that into my store.
There you go.
It might help with some sales. You know what I mean? Someone friendly was in there.
I don't
Not
believe,
you.
I don't believe you know what you mean.
I don't have any idea. But I know that all of your fancy lawn furniture's gone, right? That's kind of.
basically sold out. Yeah,
You could still order it from you if you wanted to.
You can still order it and actually have some extra discounts on a good chunk of it still. So if you needed some outdoor furniture, some outdoor maybe fire pits or whatnot, we've got those available. They ship within a week, so get them pretty quick.
And if you're riding around right now listening to us thinking, boy, I sure would like to do something else besides listen to those guys, I know that youth football's got 4 games out there starting today, right now, 9 a.m. I think it's 9, 11, 1, and 3 or something like that. But they have 4 games going out there today. Our So stop out and see our Lincoln Youth Football Raiders. We're going to talk high school football a little later on. I believe that our main man right here, Loyd's got a special guest.
Special guest. Well,
That-
I don't know.
I don't know how special he is, but he's a guest.
Yeah.
You're a
something
special guy, Loyd, doing some special things.
Well, I can't really compare to the guest getter, but
Well.
other than I did get a guest. So.
I think the guest getting thing is only that's like contract. That's like a month-to-month thing.
Is it?
I think.
When does yours start?
I was going to say,
See, mine ended about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot.
You know what? Speaking of business, if you're looking for a great way to advertise,
I am.
WLCN 96.3 has developed a new Raider football and basketball and ladies basketball sponsorship package this season, and it's very affordable. If you're interested, give us a call, 217-648-5510. I think that's Kevin Courtwright going by. He's probably just riding around doing nothing. The number again, 648-5510, Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., or you can give them an email at lincolncountry@yahoo.com. Attention, marketing manager. And
Do we have one of those?
Attention, marketing manager.
Jim's like, when the heck did I hire him?
That's some good advertisement because you know what? We with the new conference, there's a lot of travel going on, and I think the radio is going to be listened to a lot more. Some good advertisement for you. Again, give them a call. I should say us. We're part of it. A lot of fans out there today. 648-5510. We also want to mention that the LCHS varsity football cheerleaders are selling raffle tickets for a beautiful dual recliner sofa from Jake's Furnishings. That's got a value at over $1,500. I'm going to say that again. What's the value again, Loyd?
Over $1,500.
You can contact any cheerleader or head cheer coach, Anna Grace Maxwell, to purchase these tickets.
Or
Now,
the marketing manager.
I do not want to confuse this with the giveaway that's going on with the picks for football. This is not the same recliner.
No.
Okay,
No.
not the same recliner at all on that. And so that's what we got going on right now.
The sofa does have, it's a double reclining two-tone sofa with a drop-down table.
Ooh. And you do this every year, don't you?
We try to help out quite a few different organizations. Our cheerleaders seem to be one that has done really well with it in the past, and they really work hard to get the word out and really earn some money for their squad. So, I like helping groups that want to work for it and make a name for themselves to earn some extra money.
Hats off to them.
Hats off to any of those groups who would like to earn a little extra money. So let's now jump into some sports. This is a sports show, and I believe, are we still ranked number one? I think
Still number one.
Number one
rated show between 9 and 10.
Originating in the
Sports
county.
show in Logan County. So we're trying to uphold that.
We dominate our time slot.
And we are not, though. I don't think you can pick us up in Manito, but I'm not sure.
Well, if you got the Mixler app.
Oh, that's right, the Mixler.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk baseball. We'll get things started with baseball because Major League Baseball is starting to turn things into a tournament of sorts, aren't they?
We're heading toward the postseason.
I was going to say, we're coming down to it. I think there's about 15, 16 games left right now. We're right there.
15, 16 games left.
All that talk of L.A. having the greatest or best record in the history of baseball is went by the wayside, that's for sure.
Went out with those Rockers in Cleveland, didn't it?
Boy, I tell you, Cleveland last night ends their 22-game winning streak against the Royals on a walk-off home run by Lorenzo Cain.
Now, that's an incredible feat.
it is.
The
the
run was incredible. I mean, some of the games, how they pulled them out was
like the one the night
unbelievable.
before.
Yeah,
They were
exactly.
2 outs in the ninth, and was it Lindor hit the double and tied it?
Yeah.
In the extra innings.
And their pitching has been stellar. Their defense is unbelievable. I tell you what, they're a fun team to watch and could be scary coming into the postseason.
Yeah, that pick out of Jay Bruce definitely helped them.
They might have a little attitude coming in here this postseason. Cleveland Indians.
They're on a 1-game losing streak.
Yep.
They'll turn that around today. I wonder if they're glad it's over.
Get the pressure
nobody
off,
likes
you
to
mean?
lose, but I wonder if they're just kind of like, whew, we need to get rid
Well,
of
I
that.
tell you, I watched one of their games the other day, and they just seem loose as can be. And I mean, kind of resembled, throw it out there, it kind of resembled the Cubs of last year. Just out there having a good time, just winning games and no big deal.
Everybody's having fun when you're winning.
Oh, yeah.
When you're not winning, there can be a few problems come up. People start pointing fingers, and next thing you know, you've got dissension among the troops, and goes on everywhere.
Kind of like in St. Louis right now.
Yeah. And in rock bands.
Still the longest streak in 82 years. I think it was Jason Stark that tweeted it took the Browns 94 games to win 22. The Indians did it in 22 games. So people are having fun with it.
Thinks he's pretty funny. Cleveland now has a 14-game lead over Minnesota, so that's that's a done deal, right?
Oh,
What do you guys call that?
Well, and I believe
Houston's a done deal.
I believe they're just behind LA for the best record in baseball now. And they're only 4 behind them, if I'm thinking right.
Yeah, LA's got 95 wins. Cleveland has 91.
Washington, a done deal. What's going to happen over there in the American League East? Boston, New York.
Oof. Boston's looking like they're trying to put it away now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've been playing. Well, actually, both teams have been playing.
Yeah, they're both 7-3 in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
So could come down to the wire.
The Stat Man. We got a name for him, the Stat Man. Look what he pulls out.
I knew we didn't have an agenda, so I thought I better print something out.
Yeah, we'll tell you what, we're lost when Kirby's not here with that magenta.
The magenta agenda.
I think he's over in
Manito
today. I'm not sure what he's doing exactly, but,
Probably meeting with the mayor. Probably summoned over there to a court hearing when he's trying to change the name of that place. Well, let's talk about the National League a little bit then, because Houston's got things wrapped up down in the West.
Yes, they do.
The National
Although, I believe LA's still hanging in there for the wild card, so.
Houston's in the American League, dude.
Yeah.
Did I say National? What did I say?
You did.
Did I say something wrong?
A little
Boy,
bit.
that could have been.
That's all right.
I'm not going to say I didn't.
Never happens here.
I think I believe when we go through the tapes, I said let's talk the
When
National
we
League
go
because Houston has it
when we go
wrapped
through
up
game film.
in the West.
There you go. That makes sense.
I think that's exactly what I said, but we'll check on it.
All right.
Let's talk National League.
All right.
Let's
talk about the Central.
All right. Well, you've got the
Cardinals are only 2 games back.
Cubbies hanging out. They're 3
or
or
4, actually.
3.5, 4, yeah. That paper's like 6 days old.
It doesn't matter.
Here's your updates.
What we want to do is be close.
All right. Well, we're close.
The Cards are 4 games back right now. Milwaukee's only 3 back, and the Cubs are leading the board right now. Big loss last night for the Cardinals. Looked like they had it. They were cruising right along. Carlos Martinez looked like he was pitching great. Lackey blew up, and his catcher Contreras, he blew up. They both got ejected from the game, and you're thinking, if the Cardinals could do something here, I think the Cardinals only ended up scoring 1 run that inning. And I said right as soon as that the Cubs got through that inning, I said, the Cardinals are going to regret only scoring 1. And sure enough, that next inning, Martinez blew up.
Yeah, I don't know. There's still some games left, some time left. Let's corral them.
Well, if they could win the next 2, they'd only be 2 back.
Nope.
And who knows about the wild card? They're still right there on the wild card as well. So,
well, if the Cubs get in, are we going to root for them?
No. Are you kidding me? I'm a Cardinal fan. I don't root for the Cubs.
Right now, last year I kind of did.
No, I was rooting for my Cub friends to, if they got.
That's the same thing, only different.
No.
6 of one, half dozen of another. Neither here nor there.
You would never hear me singing that stupid song.
I guarantee you sang the
guarantee
song.
You were singing that last year.
I could have sang it. I don't know.
You did sing
I
it.
don't remember.
I think there's video somewhere of you singing it.
I believe I was at a wedding and they were singing it. And I got right involved with it.
I would have burnt the place to the ground.
It was fun.
Where was that wedding at?
Manito. Peoria. Augie's daughter got married. And
is that the same
Frick
wedding
boy, and it was fun.
is that the same wedding that brought about the legend of Shabadoo?
No, but Shabadoo is a heck of a dancer. And we'd like to get some of those video tapes
I
up.
thought you found out about it at the wedding, but maybe that's
Did I?
what I thought.
No, not that way.
Oh.
It was before then.
Okay.
I will tell you though, with the Cardinals cruising along, playing pretty decent, pretty solid baseball, they do have a look to them that they're young and whatnot, but they're kind of fun to watch as well, and they could scare some teams if they can make it to the playoffs. They could be tough.
I think they're going to playoffs.
You think they're going?
Yeah, I think they're going to roll on in.
Put it down.
They're going to regroup, and here come the Cardinals.
Make a note
Tommy
of that.
Pham, the first player in since Reggie Sanders, I believe, to be a 2020 guy for the Cardinals. It's kind of a cool stat considering the guy started off in the minor leagues for about the first month and a half.
And how long ago was that, man?
That'd been like 04, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I guess our baseball is figured out.
No.
My pick.
Wait.
Reese Hoskins, you got to talk about him.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's go.
17 home runs in his first 33 games. Fastest pace ever. in MLB.
That's true.
And he's kind of like Tommy Pham, spent majority of his beginning of the season in the minor leagues. 37 RBIs in his first 33 games. He tied Zeke Bonera from 1934 and a couple other guys on the list. You might have heard of them, Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams.
Heard of both of them, actually.
Yeah, so
He's
not much
seeing
to
the
root
ball.
about.
He's seeing the ball well right now.
Oh, yeah. Not much to root about if you're a Phillies fan, so had to get that in there. You may proceed.
He should be on a billboard with his eye doctor.
Well, you know what they call it when he shatters a bat? When Reese Hoskins shatters a bat?
No, what do they call it?
Reese's Pieces.
Oh, nice. You're on top of things, aren't you?
No, I saw it on Twitter.
I was going to say,
It's a
yeah.
Twitter thing.
Yep.
Hey, it's 9:20. We're done talking about the MLB. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I believe we're going to jump into the NFL. And a little bit later on, we're going to talk high school football with
Gordon Voit of
Gordon Voit.
WAND TV in Decatur.
All right. You're on the cheap seats. We'll be right back.
Oh, Butte, Montana, home of the Berkeley Pit, the Butte hole of America. It's filled with lead and arsenic. All the streets are named for medals, and the head frames are the best. They stand over the city, the Eiffel Towers of the West. Oh, Butte, Montana, home of the Berkeley Pit, the Butte hole of America. It's filled with lead and arsenic.
Joining us now by phone.
Welcome back, cheap seats fans.
Yeah, welcome to Cheap Seats. Loyd Kirby, Joe Ryan, Jake Johnston, our engineer Jim, and he's the marketing manager, I guess. And on the phone with us, making his way back to Decatur by way of Butte, Montana, Mr. Gordon Voit, the sports director of WAND TV in Decatur. Good morning, Gordon.
Hey guys, great to be here. What was that song? That was amazing.
Who knows?
It was, well, if you go on Google and you look for songs about Butte, Montana, there's not a whole lot to choose from. So,
Oh my God! I was listening to that and I thought I was dreaming. I was like, wait, did I not?
Lloyd has a lot of free
Go to
time.
bed from the Friday Frenzy last night. I was like, I think I'm hallucinating.
well, is it, I don't know if it would be so much a dream as a nightmare perhaps, but either way.
No.
Thank you for joining us. So we've
Yeah.
been talking about getting Gordon on for, I don't know, at least a week. but
Week, 10 days.
Yeah, but we exchanged some messages on Twitter. Thought since he's down in the Decatur area and since we've hopped over to the Apollo Conference, who better to enlighten us about the goings-on football and otherwise in the Apollo. So we thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge with us.
No, glad to be here. Longtime fan of you guys. You guys are extremely helpful and great representatives of Lincoln.
Are you sure you got the right show?
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead, caller.
Big fan. I'm looking forward. I'm probably going to get a little bit of, we get a little talk in. I get roasted a little bit. It's going to be perfect.
All right.
There
well,
we go.
yeah,
That's what we're looking to do.
we can handle that. So let's jump right into it. Railers, of course, in the Apollo now. The talk was that coming out of the Central State 8 and the dominant, state-bound teams that are there perennially, going to help the Railer program. What are sort of your thoughts on it? How you think the Railers are going to fare in the Apollo, and what kind of who are some Apollo powerhouses, if you will?
I love this move for the school, and I never want to speak for a community that I've only been a part of, for about a year now, and I know that there's the traditions that are dating back way longer than I became sports director of WND. So I hope I'm coming from a place of someone who's looking forward to learning more about Railer culture, and I don't want to sound like I'm speaking for the fan base by any means, but as an outsider, somebody who's come to the community and loves coming to cover games and see the trophy case and just have my jaw hit the floor with some of these names on the walls. I love the move. I think it's perfect. I was talking to Matt Solkowski in training camp, and he just said, you know what? It's a lot of communities that are very close to us. And I think that, he's jazzed up about it, and I think I would be too if I were a Railer fan, because, it's in that perfect range for a conference of, most of the communities are between that 10 to 20,000 range. They've got about the same enrollment. Everybody's kind of coming from a similar place in terms of numbers, just with their roster, because, if you're dealing with Glenwood, for example, which I think is the largest school in the CSA, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds good.
It's them or Springfield
Glenwood.
High. Springfield High is pretty big.
Yeah, them or Springfield High. You're talking about having enough kids for like 2 freshman teams in some years.
Yep.
That's a humongous difference, and there's this kind of like magic difference, I think, in the IHSA between schools with, up near 2,000 kids compared to schools that are, hovering in that sort of Apollo 700 to 1,100 range. So I think it's great. I think the competition in the Apollo is great. I think, you mentioned in your message earlier that there's some negatives in terms of just not getting to face, the huge names like the Lion Pierce in the regular season. But I think that long term, I'm actually more curious to hear what you guys think about this, but I think just in terms of how similar Lincoln's school is on paper to the rest of the conference, and there's some up-and-coming brand names in the state. Mount Zion gets better every year. Effingham is having a football renaissance. So I think that this is only going to have big things coming for Lincoln, and I think that the basketball program will continue to adapt. How many times has it been thrown a curveball between additions and subtractions in its conference?
Yep.
I think it's going to elevate the level of football. And I think Matt Sokowski is somebody I hope we get a chance to talk about. But I just think that that football program's got a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to seeing where the Apollo takes it.
I think it's going to help a lot of the programs with Lincoln High School, and it, it can take a step back competition-wise with maybe a couple of them, but, definitely similar-sized schools is definitely going to help across the board.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we say take a step back, and that's totally, not trying to be pejorative there, because this is an amazing conference. You talk about Taylorville right now is, on fire. And, they come in technically, I think, with this win, depending on how the points for and against. I think, they entered this week in the bottom half of the conference, technically, in the standings at 2-1. This is a very, very good conference. Mattoon is down, of course, but they've got kids that are D1 caliber athletes. Muhammad Seymour is a really, I think the best days are ahead for them. That school district is just exploding right now. And that was another really good addition to the conference. You got Charleston, which, first of all, have I apologized on behalf of the rest of the state for the drive that you're about to make?
Well, it was some lovely country down there on the way to on the way to Effingham last night.
I felt like the governor of Illinois. You went through like 3 different biomes.
I did get to see the chicken car at Crackles, though, on my way through
Stop for
Decatur.
gas 4 times.
Start your own travel show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, talking to Coach Alexander. I was like, So what do you think about, right when the news broke at practice, and, he was a gentleman about it, but you could tell, I was like, yes, what about travel? He's like, he kind of, gave that famous grin and looked at me, and it kind of set it off. But, but Charleston, I think they've got, bright future ahead of them in football, too. We've just got some programs that are down right now, between them and Mattoon, Muhammad Seymour, that are going to bounce back really fast. So I love this move for Lincoln and pretty much across the board. Basketball, Effingham and Mount Zion, and even Taylorville had a really good year with a bunch of sophomores last year. So
Taylorville's a good program.
It's still going to present some challenges. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you talk about some schools being down. I mean, you're in a smaller, with the smaller populations of the school, it does kind of go in cycles sometimes, as opposed to those schools where you have an enrollment of 2,000 and you can, basically have 2 full rosters you can pick and choose from. So
right.
It's definitely very cyclical in nature.
So right now, is Effingham ranked? They're ranked, right, in the state? 8th.
They are. They entered week 3 or week 4, I should say, as 8 in 4A. So
are they a team that could step? Are they a team that could go over and play with Rochester when it's tournament time?
Wow. I think that Rochester is very, very good, as we all know.
They're unbelievable.
And, it's hard to say. I haven't gotten a chance to see Rochester play in person yet this year. Effingham is really, really impressive, and, because they're just big and nasty. And Karen Tell, their running back, just broke the program all-time rushing record, which is kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around. There's so much good history there. But he just set the all-time program rushing record. He's about as big as an NFL back. I think he's like 200, 215, 220, somewhere in there.
Yeah, he was very impressive last night. There were, a host of railers around trying to tackle him, and he would drag the pile on for another 6-7 yards, and he broke off a couple long runs for touchdowns. So, definitely lots of skills there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately for everyone else in 4A, Rochester's, their underclassmen have been practicing against state champions for the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Exactly.
They get better every year, just at practice.
Yeah, and you talk about, not being phased. I mean, what's going to scare you if you're a kid from Rochester? You know what I mean? Just in terms of the stage, the light, what's at stake. It's just every single kid, you're right, that's a good point, has been through that sort of adrenaline check. So it's like, okay, yeah, business trip.
Yeah, they're very good, very well coached.
Would that be an interesting matchup? What do you guys think? Do you think, I mean, you guys have probably seen more from Effingham than I have this year. I've just been a watcher from afar, just given last night's game. Did you guys make the trip down? Did you hop in the airport and head down there?
Yeah, we took our charter jet down route. Yeah, down 121 to.
We get paid a lot of money on this show.
But they were definitely very impressive. Their offense, lots of weapons, and their defense wasn't dominant. I mean, they held the Railers to 14 points, but Lincoln had a couple pass plays for long gains, so they might have some concerns in the secondary, but up front they had pressure on the quarterback most of the night. So I think if they shore up their defense a little bit, they definitely have the offensive weapons that they could definitely make a playoff run.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it right there. The difference between them and an established power like Rochester. Effingham could very easily be undefeated right now, but I don't know if you heard what happened in week 1. They went on the road at Breeze Mater Dei and had 5 turnovers, and then the number that pops out. But they were just, that secondary really got tested for Mater Dei, which I don't even think is that high octane of a passing attack. But Effingham's secondary really, let's just say, didn't have the best day. So.
No,
I would love to see them take on Rochester. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, why not? It'd be a good measure. I know that Mount Zion jumped in against them last year and didn't have much success. That's why I was wondering. I mean, wasn't that like round 2 or 3, Mount Zion, Rochester last year?
Yeah, I think it was round 2, if I'm not mistaken. It's just tough. Rochester's just so well coached. They've got such good athletes, and I mean, the receiver, Avante Cox, is now at Wyoming. You know, he's probably going to get playing time in an FCS school. I mean, how many schools at the 4A level can claim that, plus, you know, surrounded by a bunch of other college caliber kids. So we'll see. I mean, the Apollo is great, though. I mean, Taylorville keeps looking better and better. I mean, you go to practice and, you know, far from the biggest roster out there, but Jeb Odom, who, by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this, was Tony Romo's backup at Eastern Illinois at quarterback.
I know Jeb real well. I've always teased him about that. That could have been him.
Yeah.
Romo doesn't come to Eastern. It's
guy.
Jeb
Yeah.
at Dallas.
Oh, my gosh. Isn't that amazing?
Now, week 2, Effingham got them. Is that right? Effingham beat Taylorville that week? Was that week 2?
They did.
What do you know about that game?
2 touchdowns.
Pardon?
I think it was maybe a 2-touchdown spread.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's tough because, I mean, Jeb just runs such an impressive practice. I mean, you go to tornado practice, and it looks like it's like college.
Oh, he's a good coach. Very good coach.
Oh, my gosh. He's got 4 drills rotating. Nobody's standing around. Just always enjoyed that. I think that was just a question of size. You know, Taylorville got a lot of people don't know this, got a first-team All-Sangamon Conference transfer on the offensive line, Caden Wright, a 240-pound kid who was great for the Bullets last year. So that helped shore up their line, but I think it's just a size question. I mean, Taylorville's got the smarts and the skill, but Effingham, I think, just overpowered them.
And their kids always hit.
offensively.
Taylorville, they're always excellent tacklers.
They are, aren't
yeah,
they?
they are always hitters on defense, man. They wrap up well.
They got unbelievable. Yeah, 2 of my favorite linebackers that I've seen this year are Kyle Woods and Evan Champley. Both, I don't know, they can't be more than 200 pounds, and they just fly around. Really fun to watch.
Taylorville's a good program. It'll be interesting to see if those two, could meet again, maybe getting matched up in the playoffs sometime and see who would come out on top. Because I'm sure Jeb would like another shot at Effingham.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, and I think you can't undersell what they're doing. I mean, we talk about Terrence Hill all the time, but that coaching staff, I mean, it's not easy to go from 3-6 to ranked in the state. So you got to give that coaching staff some credit too. But it's interesting. I mean, we'll see. And then, like I said, you know, anytime you got a kid like Julian Gittens for Mattoon, who, if he were to give 110% and be super focused, I think he could be a D1 kid. I really do. He's running back for the Green Wave.
Well, kind of you're over there in that Decatur area. I mean, I know it's an old Central State 8 opponent, so, I mean, we're stepping off the mark here a little bit, but off the board for 500, as they say. Were you around for the SHG game where they were beaten over there?
I was. Oh, my goodness.
Because that's quite a feat right there.
Oh, man. I mean, that was another thing where I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was just, I mean, you consider that MacArthur, 2 years ago, you know, the head coach, Derek Spade, said we shouldn't have been playing a varsity schedule. He said I was playing freshmen and sophomores. We were getting beat, 80-0 in the second quarter against SHG, stuff like that. He said we should not have been playing. We should have just canceled the season. And he didn't mean that in a negative way, just saying that, safety and numbers, it just wasn't there. That was 2 years ago, and I think, he talked to Coach Leonard about that, and he said, we'll get you in 2 years. And they kind of had like a friendly thing going on there. Now, 2 years later, I mean, it's crazy because last year the games were so fun. They were 1-8, but the games were so fun to watch. It's like watching a video game. Anytime you got the Brummett twins,
Sure.
I mean, making guys. I mean, I've never seen a quarterback make like 6 guys miss on a double bootleg. He goes the length of the field both ways, flings it to Armand, who's also a D1 caliber kid, for an 80-yard game. And then, just the consistency and of, an FHE would pull the game away in the second quarter. But this year they have that's sort of, this is a video game. But they're also just unbelievably tough on defense. I mean, their strength is way better than last year. Their discipline is way better than last year. They're just big, tough, physical kids. And a lot of people are like, oh, so SHG just sort of lost that game. And I was like, no, MacArthur won that game.
No,
they out-muscled SHG, and I couldn't believe my eyes.
Well, I tell you, I spoke with John Allison over there after the game because I wondered the same thing. How did they get you? And the class act, that SHG is, Allison didn't say anything like that we lost that game or anything like that. He said, I got to tell you, he said, that's a pretty good football team, and they got us. And,
yeah.
I'm sure they'd like another shot at him, but, he didn't have any excuses. He said, that's a good football team.
Yeah, and, some people said Brian Adams is out. He's the quote-unquote backup, which is hilarious because he's going to Illinois State next year. But they were down him. I said, okay, so they only had one Division I running back. They only got Tremaine Lee going to Southern Illinois. So I'm disappointed that. I said, no, MacArthur. They've got this secret weapon that nobody knew about before the season. He's a sophomore. He starts at strong safety. You guys are going to hear this name a lot. I think he's going to be pushing for D1 by senior year, easy. His name is Jeffrey Wells. He transferred from Indianapolis. And not virtually unknown, totally unknown going into the year because, the kid's 15 years old. Shows up at practice, and for a coaching staff, and with Scott Davis on board, was kind of seen a lot. Their jaws were on the floor in training camp, and they were kind of trying to keep it hush-hush because he's a one-man wrecking crew at 15 years old. And so he's fun to watch, and they've got all these other kids. Darion Brown's another kid that transferred from Evansville who wanted to come play with his cousins, for his senior year. It was really fun to cater. So it's just a lot of really fun, hardworking kids that they're just big and nasty and strong, and
they're getting it done.
They just smother teams.
They had a big win over Springfield last week, didn't they?
They did, 14-13 on the road.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the heat check game. You come off SHG, there's all those great emotions. You're kind of on an emotional high. Then you got to play a Saturday matinee on the road at a very good Springfield High team, which I think is probably the second most improved team, in that area. And, a little bit of a controversial play. Amir Brummett, flung it to Ray Neal Jr., who's one of their top receivers, catches it at the goal line. It's that classic, did he have enough time for it to be considered a catch, or did the ball pop out? The ball popped out almost instantly, but he was right on the plane, right above the goal line, where the ball was, I should say. And so that was a little bit of a controversy there, but bottom line is they survived a really tough test. So, and then last night took care of Jacksonville pretty handedly. And, another kid, Marquise O'Neal, who had almost no touches to that point, broke out and had, probably close to 100-plus yards. So it's just every week some other kid is stepping up, and it's kind of shocking to witness because this is a team that was 1-8 and barely stringing together enough guys the last couple years, and I think all of that work to get to this point paid off, and it's a totally different team.
Well, you got some good insight for us over there in Decatur.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we're gonna, well, you do, and we're going to look forward to that as I know we kind of soloed in on football today, but we need to have you on again and discuss some of the other sports. As we have volleyball going on and all kinds of different fall sports going on right now.
Yeah, shout out to the Raider volley. That was a huge win over Mount Zion. Oh my goodness, that was enormous. Mount Zion came into that game 9-0, home game. I'm incredibly impressed with the Lady Railers on that. So, talk about a hot program. I think the sky's the limit for those gals.
Yeah, we have a good volleyball program going on.
Yep, absolutely. So, we're getting ready to head into our next commercial break. What are we talking about next? NFL? Is that going to be?
We're going to the NFL.
NFL. Do you have any insights or big predictions for us on the NFL?
Who are you a fan of?
So of course. The very first team to win the Super Bowl on its home field, the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm telling you, we were right there, Gordon. We had it.
I got set up.
I know that.
We'll put that in the bank, absolutely.
They can make fun of that. That's funny. I knew there was someone else that thought the same way. Thanks, Gordon.
How do you see the Bears doing this weekend?
Chicago area, and I'm a big Bears fan, very big Bears fan. So I feel like I've earned the right. I'm sure there's some Bears fans among you guys too. But the pain I've endured over the years, I feel like I have the right to dish it out on other people. Right?
Absolutely.
It's all right. Yeah, we can take it. We like it.
All right. Well, that is Gordon Voit, the sports director of WAND TV over in Decatur, and thanks for taking some time with us. We'll probably talk with you again here down the road. All
Great, guys. It was a blast. Can't wait till next time.
right. We're going to play you out here, too. We'll be back soon.
Let's do it. Beat Montana, right?
That's
right. You're on the cheap seats, and we're going to take a break. It's about 9:50, and we'll be right back.
It's time to winterize your vehicles and lawn equipment. Trust the quality and knowledge of Four Corners Lube, located at 1101 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln, now for the best service possible. Open Monday through Saturday, featuring Husqvarna brand equipment. Phone 217-735-2761. Four Corners Lube, home of the full-service in-and-out oil change.
from your era, isn't it?
Is that Ario?
No.
I'm ready to fight. Woo! Hey, you know what that is? Turn this up. We got to go to this part.
The grassroots?
Boom, boom.
Out go the lights. That's good stuff right there. Boom, boom, out go the lights. I'll tell you what, you're back on the cheap seats. We'd like to thank Gordon Voit for dropping in with us. He was very insightful. He has a lot of information.
Knowledge, wasn't he?
Yeah, we'll get him on here talking about some more sports. I know we kind of zeroed in on football today, but we'll move him around, and I'm sure he's got a lot of knowledge on all of it.
Current temperature is 105 degrees.
105 because the shade is gone. We don't like that. I think it's time now that we need to jump into the NFL.
We need an intro for that.
We need
Do we have an intro?
the Monday Night Football music.
I think
or
I think Scott might be working on it up there in good old
Ito.
Ito.
Manito.
Manito.
That's funny when you do that. One more time.
The Manito.
The people love it.
That's pretty good stuff. Do we have some? We're not going to bore you guys. There you go. Yeah. Ba-da.
All right, go ahead. You
And
got some
we're
picks
back.
for us?
I went over last week and sit in the front row and watched the Detroit Lions beat up probably the worst team in football, the Arizona Cardinals.
You're labeling them this early as the worst team in football.
I'm going to tell you what, they are a bad football team, and now David Johnson's out, and we're in trouble. We're going to struggle with the Colts, and the Colts don't even have a quarterback.
So you're
They do
just
have a nice dome.
going to throw it right in the face of our guest because he just made a prediction about your Cardinals.
No, I'm going to take them in this week's picks, but they're not a very good football team. I will say the highlight of the game, there's a lot of highlights of it, but the funniest part was Stafford came out and he just became the wealthiest man in the NFL, and his first pick, or his first pass was a pick six for 80 yards for a touchdown, and everyone just stood looking at him going, we paid you how much? He did battle back and win.
It's a beautiful stadium up there, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately. Very cool place. I recommend to anybody and everybody to go. Pick your favorite team when they play the Lions. There's a great hotel there about a half a mile from the place, from the stadium. You can walk down there. And if you plan it right, you know, in early fall, but that Tiger Stadium's sitting right there, too.
Yep.
That's a newer place, isn't it, Loyd? You're a baseball guy.
It is, yeah.
Old
America. Yeah.
Nice place. We're going to bore you guys now with our picks. So if you want to turn the station, go ahead. But we only have 5 of them.
We're going to narrow it down this week.
But stick around. Throw them out there, Jake. What do we got going?
Well, first off, we've got the Lions versus the G-Men.
Where's that at?
Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's Monday Night Football. Where at?
At New York.
I think the G-Men get them. The Lions aren't that good.
You think?
Yeah. G-Men.
I'm going Lions.
Lloyd's going Lions. Jim says the Giants. Kirby
says
Scott's going
Manito.
he gets the Cubs.
He gets the Cubs in this one. And I'm gonna go Lions.
All right. Rawr. He can hear you roar.
All right, next we've got a big matchup with the Packers facing the Falcons.
Ooh, that is. Where's that at? You got to tell us where they're at.
In Atlanta.
That's in Atlanta.
I'm taking the Falcons.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to
Dirty
go.
Birds 4.
I got to go with the Pack.
What's going
Green Bay. Yep.
Jimbo. Packers. Scott.
Cubs.
Cubs again.
Yep, Cubs again. You're not here?
You know what?
You don't win.
I'm going with the Falcons. Falcons played okay last week. I think they were walking into that game.
It's
thinking
their
they were
home
gonna
opener
run
at that
them.
brand new stadium.
Yeah. They're going to be
Rock and roll.
ready to go. Music playing a little louder.
Music playing.
The Cowboys against the Broncos.
Cowboys at Broncos.
Cowboys
Yes.
at Broncos.
I'll go first. I can't root for the dirty Cowboys. I'm taking the Broncos. Cowboys are dirty.
Jim's going Broncos.
I'll go Cowboys.
Boys.
Boy.
Scott?
Bears.
Manito.
He's not winning.
Give
Give him the Cubs.
Give him the Cubs. He's got the Cubs with the points, and I'm going to take... Jeez, I don't like going along with Joe, but I'll go with the Broncos. Cards against the Colts.
Wow.
Worst game in the
There will be
history
no
of
one watching that
football.
game but parents. I will.
You can still get good seats.
and me. I'll take the Cardinals. And they're a bad team.
Loyd,
I'll go with you, Josie. I'll go with the Cardinals on that one.
Jimbo,
Oh, they
Yeah.
all went on the wagon. There's room for you. Get on.
it's at
Yes.
the Colts.
No.
He died.
Now they say he wants out.
He's bad luck.
Oh, he's going Cards as well.
Oh, yeah. There's room for you on that wagon.
I'll go Colts. Wow. Just because their uniforms are blue.
Good pick.
And the game of the week, the mighty monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wee.
Woo! Grudge match between
It's
Kirby
at Tampa
and
Bay.
Kirby. Brothers
Yes.
versus brother.
The Bucks.
Oh, look
Welcome aboard.
at Joe going Bucks.
Thanks, Tape Man.
Let's go Loyd.
The Bears. No, Bucks.
Jimbo. Bears 74-2. That's a good game. A lot closer than what we thought it'd be out of the gate. I'm going to follow Jim on this one. I think it's going to be the Bears. It's probably not going to be that close.
Got
though.
nothing to do you?
Bears 203.
And what about Scott
Bucks.
Kirby?
He's picking.
He's got a pick.
Manito.
Benito. Well, they're a well-coached group, probably coached by. He's got nothing.
Dicka.
We got nothing. Didka.
Jim was ready to just.
He's
shut
ready to
show
hit the
down.
outro.
He's ready to sign off. You know what I mean?
So
it's
winner
it's
of
that
this
time
week,
of day.
It is that time. It's up to 108.9 now. If it gets to 110,
Wow,
sell.
is it getting hot? All right, well,
right,
hey,
boys.
we'd like to thank you for being on Cheap Seats today. We'd like to thank Four Corners for having us out. Beautifully new painted Four Corners. Next week, we are going to be downtown in historic Lincoln at Joe Ryan Country Financial Office. We'll be out front, and hopefully maybe we'll have candy or something to throw out. I don't know, maybe. Who knows?
look at you.
big mattress sale at Jake's Furnishings this weekend.
Clear the shelf sale, isn't it?
It is inventory reduction.
Inventory reduction
So you
sale.
know.
There you go.
We'd like to thank you for hanging out with us today, and thank you to Gordon Voit for dropping by, and thanks to our listeners for Cheap Seats.
Good day.